Hi, I'm Veronica Vance. Coming up, we see how the D has become the #1 end-of-summer celebration capital of the country. Head to Mount Clemens for their annual fall cemetery tour, and then we sample some local brews at Sherwood Brewery, so stay tuned.
Production funding for this program was made possible by the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau, driving tourism growth in Metro Detroit since 1896. More information is available at visitdetroit.com.
Labor Day weekend is one of the biggest weekends in the D, and it's a ton of fun for locals, but it also makes a great weekend getaway if you're coming in from out of town. We've got Ford, Arts, Beats, and Eats, the Detroit Jazz Festival, the Michigan State Fair. It's the unofficial end of summer and a great kickoff for the fall. So here at Ford Arts, Beats, and Eats, they take over the hip town of Royal Oak with over 200 performances on 9 different stages. We've got a smorgasbord of food, a juried art fair, a carnival, and a portion of the small entrance fee goes toward local charities. What more could you ask for Labor Day weekend? So the art part of Arts, Beats, and Eats is a juried art show. And they've got blocks and blocks of one-of-a-kind unique pieces. Like in here, we've got some really neat stuff. Look at these clocks. This one is a guitar. I love that. And we got the beats. And of course, the Eats part of Ford Arts, Beats, and Eats is huge. They've got all kinds of food here. Right here, we're in front of the Peking House. We've got some delicious looking, what is it?
Chicken.
Okay, and then
vegetable lo mein.
And
also have the barbecue spare ribs and vegetable spring rolls.
Smells spectacular. Looks good.
Thank you.
I love cannoli, so thank you. What do we got here?
So this is almond, pecan, and chocolate chip cannolis.
Pecan cannoli.
Yes.
Oh, that one's mine. Little bite of heaven there. Love the pecans on it.
Thank you.
They've also got shopping. They've got these really cool, unique purses, handbags. They've got some big tote bags, all kinds of really neat clothing that you can only find at festivals. And they also have a kid zone full of bouncy houses, and there's kiddie rides back over there just for the little ones, kind of separated from the big rides. It's a nice layout here. They've got crafts over there, a kiddie stage, all kinds of fun stuff for the little ones. There's even more than Arts, Beats, and Eats in downtown Royal Oak. They have this huge midway here. Tons of rides for the kids, a lot of fun.
I've been coming here just every single year, just enjoying myself because it's pretty much the end of summer. So you might as well just go out with a big old bang and just have fun.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
What a better way.
What a better way
to enjoy Michigan.
Well, John, this Ford Arts, Beats, and Eats, it's massive. It's huge.
Yes, it is.
Great.
It is amazing. 18 blocks of entertainment. You know, you turn a corner and you hear a different sound. You smell something different. You see something different in the art fair. It really is a festival of the senses. And, you know, I will tell you, the most rewarding part is the amount of people we've brought together in peace. We've struck a nice chord for Metro Detroit. Labor Day weekend has been something regionally that has set Detroit apart.
Yes.
You know, you have the Jazz Fest, the State Fair, the festival in Hamtramck, you have the Renaissance Festival. There are so many amazing events, and I think Metro Detroit has set itself up as the #1, you know, end of summer celebration capital in the United States by miles and miles. Just fabulous things. If people stay at home, they really do get a vacation of many different genres. A staycation, exactly.
And now, what else is going on right this second in downtown Detroit is the Detroit Jazz Festival, and it's the largest free-of-charge jazz festival in the world. The Jazz Festival is huge, and it takes over several city blocks, all the way from Hart Plaza to Campus Martius. They've got 5 stages and 100 acts over 4 days. And don't forget, it's all free. Now Now the other biggie that's happening right this very minute is the Michigan State Fair, and that takes place out of the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi.
We have kiddie rides, adult rides, spectacular rides, something for the whole family to do today.
Yeah, I mean, all the way down from your little toddlers up to your teenagers, everybody's got something they're going to want to ride. Well, pretty exciting. We've got tigers going through flaming hoops behind us. This is a full-fledged circus.
This is a full-fledged circus. We have everything. Lions, tigers, and elephants.
Oh, my.
We've got over 490 livestock here, everything from our draft horses with Clydesdales. We've got over 120 head of sheep. We've got hogs. We've got goats. We've got dairy cattle here, even poultry and rabbits. So we've really got everything you can think about for those city folks or even us country guys. And we have some excellent animals that represent the whole state of Michigan here.
So we've got the three biggies going on this weekend: Arts, Beats and Eats, the Jazz Festival, and the State Fair. And if you want to make a weekend getaway out of it, whether you're a local or you're coming in from out of town, there are plenty of places to stay. Like for the State Fair out of the Suburban Collection Showplace, we've got the Hyatt Place Detroit Novi. And if you're downtown Detroit at the Jazz Festival, there are all kinds of hotels for you to stay at. We've got the Marriott at the Renaissance Center, the Courtyard by Marriott, the Crown Plaza, Hilton Garden Inn, Weston Book Cadillac. There are all kinds of rooms for you to make a weekend getaway and have fun listening to that jazz. So like we said, all these Labor Day weekend events are the unofficial end of summer, but that means it's time to start ushering in the fall, which means it's cider mill time. So we've got you covered with all kinds of apple orchards to satisfy that fall cider craving, like Parmenter Cider Mill in Northville. We've got Irwin Orchards in South Lyon with tons of fun activities for kids. There's the Plymouth Orchards and Cider Mill in Plymouth. There's a Franklin Cider Mill with delicious donuts there in Bloomfield Hills. We've got Rochester that has three. They've got the Paint Creek Cider Mill, Rochester Cider Mill, the Goodison Cider Mill, and then they've got Yates Cider Mill in Rochester Hills. There's Middleton Farm Cider Mill in Utica, Blake's Orchard and Cider Mill in Armada, and then of course there's the huge Westview Orchards and Adventure Farm in Washington Township, and these are just a few cider mills to help you satisfy that fall cider craving. Of course, along with cider mill time comes the fall colors, and we've got 13 metro parks plus the scenic Heinz Drive to cruise to soak in all those stunning fall colors. And along the way you might just find that perfect pumpkin for Halloween and even get in a hayride or two. And in the D, the fall is still the perfect time to get in some fishing. Lake St. Clair, it's one of the best fishing lakes in the country. There are plenty of charter fishing excursions you can take out on Lake St. Clair. And take it from me, the size of the fish you can catch are immense.
Good, good. Let's pay attention to that strain and make sure we concentrate on this area here. Okay, keep coming. Keep coming. All right. There's your first muskie.
I did it! Wow, look at the size of him. He's huge.
That's not even a big one.
Oh my goodness.
My
first muskie ever out on Lake St. Clair. Did not take long thanks to the expertise of Joel here. And we've even got Labor Day parades going on in Detroit and Hamtramck. Romeo has the Michigan Peach Festival, and the Michigan Renaissance Festival is happening weekends in Holly through early October. So Labor Day weekend and the fall are a do not miss in the D. If you're looking for a really unique tour, then we've got just the thing for you. It's here in Mount Clemens, and it's the Crocker House Museum Cemetery Walk. Now the day starts out with a funeral tea, then you head over to the Crocker House Museum, you get to tour an actual wake there. Then you end up here at the Clinton Grove Cemetery, where they've got actors portraying the dearly departed. Now this is not a scary event, it's simply a fascinating one. So Kim, explain to me, this is a really unique concept, a cemetery walk.
It is, perhaps it sounds strange, but you wouldn't believe the response we have to this. And why? Because it's the most fun you could ever have of learning local history. It's brought to life.
So the tour starts out with a funeral tea?
Yep, the funeral tea, all the foods are reminiscent of food served at wakes of various cultures.
So then after the funeral tea, the first stop is the Crocker House Museum?
Yep, you'd come to the Crocker House. The Crocker House is set for a wake to the 1880s. So you walk in the door, it looks like a house of that era, what you would expect for a wake. From the Crocker House Museum, they go to the cemetery with a guide.
What's the cemetery where they can go to?
The cemetery is Clinton Grove Cemetery, and we do encourage families to bring their kids because it takes the fear out of the cemetery, and it really shows them that the cemetery is a place of history, it's a place of art. I really think it's a good experience for kids.
Now the first part of the cemetery walk is optional, but if you opt for it, it includes a funeral tea, which is served here at the Presbyterian Church, just down the road from the Crocker House Museum.
This was your invitation to a wake. It's a molasses caraway biscuit. It has the initial of the deceased inscribed into it, and the dark grapes were favored because of the purple color. And this is one of the colors of mourning. So this is an 1860s dress here, solid black. This fabric, the panels on it is called crepe. It's a crinkled silk. And this was referred to as the fabric of woe.
So after the funeral tea, the first stop is the Crocker House Museum, and we are going to head inside and listen to Kim talk about some of the Victorian era wake customs.
You're in the formal parlor now, and the formal parlor is set as you would have seen it in the 1880s, really in most of the Victorian era, even well after the turn of the century, when funerals were done in the home. This I replicated from an actual obituary from the 1860s. Sending flowers, you were doing a favor to mask odor. This also represented their belief in the afterlife.
So even the dollhouse is decorated like for a wake?
In mourning, absolutely. They would have the wreath on the front door and the bunting all around the home. And there is a little coffin inside because they are having a wake.
Just coming here for a visit any time of the year, you can see they've really paid attention to detail in recreating a house from the late 1800s. And as part of the tour, you also can come downstairs and get some cider and donuts. I'm going to enjoy this before I head out to the cemetery. Well, so Roxy, we've taken the bus from the Crocker House Museum. We've ended up here at the Clinton Grove Cemetery. Now what happens?
Well, then we take the group and we go to several different stations, and at each plot, the dead people come alive. Wow. And they speak, and they tell us all about themselves and about Mount Clemens and about the area and what happened in their lives, and it is so interesting. You learn so much. I mean, I've learned so much about the Bath City.
Hi, I was Chief Michael Smith, and this was our 1923 Arns Fox fire engine.
I'm George Crocker from the Crocker House, and these are my three wives.
Yes, I'm Cecilia Tarleton Crocker. I'm Harriet Steele Crocker.
And I'm Catherine Lee Dickinson Crocker.
We've got a Frenchman here who became a village trustee of Mount Clemens. Oui, oui, here he goes.
Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour.
Bonjour!
Je nomme Charles Mosier. My name is Charles Mosier. As you may have surmised, I was born in France, moved to Mount Clemens. Then in 1859, I became a village trustee. In January of 1865, the Mount Clemens Salt Company was formed, and I bought 5% of the company stock.
Nothing bad
So
will
here we
happen
are
to
with
you.
the sheriff of Mount Clemens. I heard he
Little
was
drops
pretty
of water
correct, but
could-
we're about to
believe me,
hear
where I spent
his
most of
story
my
right
time,
now.
A drop of water would make you feel better. I'd like to welcome you all here. Good afternoon. How many of you folks are from Macomb County here? Well, that's more than it was back when I was sheriff in 1921 and 22. Thousands and thousands of people came here to stay in the dozens and dozens of boarding houses. Can you imagine a 500-room hotel right here in Mount Clemens? I believe that you need to be accommodating. You want these paying guests to stay here and spend a lot of money, you have to provide for them. And I figure if you relax the law just a little bit, as long as no one gets hurt, everybody wins.
So remember, the Crocker House Museum Cemetery Walk only happens once a year. It's the first Saturday of every October. Reservations fill up quick, and it's definitely something to mark your calendars for. There are plenty of things to see and do in Metro Detroit this month, and our calendar of events is up next to point you in the right direction. Head to Shane Park for the entertaining Universe Soul Circus and take a time travel adventure at the Michigan Renaissance Festival. Find a deal on that perfect boat at the In-Water Metro Boat Show. And Northville's Victorian Festival is now the Heritage Festival. Explore historic Detroit sites on two wheels, then revisit out-of-production cars at the Orphan Car Show. Enjoy citywide creativity during the Detroit Design Festival. Then pick up something eccentric at the funky Ferndale Art Fair. Shop for shabby chic, industrial, farmhouse, and vintage in Holly. Then dress the decades for the Ovation Yacht's last summer cruise. Journey along with the princesses as they dare to dream. Then have adult fun at the inaugural Bootlegger Heritage Festival. Don't miss A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder at the Fisher or the stand-up comedy of Amy Schumer at the Joe. To learn of any changes, log on to visitdetroit.com or call 1-800-DETROIT. You've heard of the Sherwood Forest? Well, we've got the Sherwood Brewery. They're in Shelby Township on Hayes, just north of M59. They're a microbrewery, a winery, and they even make their own soda pop. And we are going to sample some of these local flavors. Well, Ray, so you guys are making your own beer, wine, soda pop here. Tell me about Sherwood Breweries.
Sherwood Brewery, we're a microbrewery that opened up in 2006. We're also a small winemaker and a small restaurant pub. We make all of our own beer, all of our own wine, all of our own soda. We don't have any Coke or Pepsi products. We also make a small selection of food. We have pizzas, burgers, salads, sandwiches, all made in-house. We try to do as much as we can from scratch. You know, in the summer we might have 2 to 3 different wheat beers. In the winter we're going to have more dark beers, stouts and porters, maybe a couple at a time. And then everything in between, seasonal beers like Oktoberfest or Maibach.
And I see you've got kids in here too. I would imagine that the soda pop that you make here is a big draw.
We wanted to make it exciting for everybody that came in. So instead of just having root beer, sometimes we'll have like a mango bubblegum soda.
Well, and it's really big in here too. I love the ceiling, that open look, all painted.
Yeah, and, you know, everything's kind of grown over the years. We started off very sparse, almost no decoration. Now customers bring in beer bottles for us to put on the wall. In a couple of years, and it's growing.
Yeah. Well, can I see where all the magic happens?
Sure. So this is the brew house, and from here, like we've got the ground up grain or the grist, and then we add that into the mash tun up here. We mix it by hand, we load it in by hand and mix it, where we have hot water waiting for it, and we add more hot water, and we have it at a set temperature. We'll get the grain or the enzymes that are naturally present in the malt to activate and break down the proteins, the starches, and the beta-glucans. And then we'll move it over into the kettle where we'll cook the beer. And that's also where we add all the hops. Once we get all the extract into the kettle, we'll cook it generally for at least an hour. Typically our beers will boil for at least 75 minutes. When it's done boiling, we'll whirlpool it in that same vessel. Once it's whirlpooled, we'll run it through a series of chillers, one that utilizes fresh water, and we'll move it into our fermenters, which are the 4 tanks over here. And alcohol is a byproduct of the fermentation process.
What's going on in here right now? What are you making
Right
today?
now we're making an amber ale. This is kind of a brief rundown. It's not everything that we have available right now, but kind of a brief selection of everything. For the sodas, we've got our blue raspberry soda. This is our diet cherry cream. And then this is our cream soda. On the wines, this is a Citrus Oasis. It's a white wine. Symphony, which is an American-grown grape. This is a white Zinfandel. We call it Paper Heart. And then this is Red Mosquito, which is a Pinot Noir Burgundy-style wine. On the beer side, we've got our Alaskan Sister Wit, which is a Belgian-style white ale. We've got our Abbeyversary, which just came out, but it's a malty, higher alcohol beer. And then over here, we've got our brown ale, an American-style brown ale. And then Entire Buzz Honey Porter, which is a darker beer. And this one we use a little bit of honey in there.
We'll start with Blue Lips, right? Yes, that would draw the kids in. That's
Definitely.
sweet. Very sweet.
The sodas are very sweet. We use Michigan beet sugar.
It's really, really very good. Okay, so this is the cream soda. This was my favorite when I was little. That's good. That's very good. And now, should we move on to the wine?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're starting with the sweet white.
Yep, it's a Mango Citrus Symphony, which is Symphony's a white wine from
Very nice.
California.
Very smooth.
Off dry, not semi-sweet. So
What does off dry mean exactly?
Just barely sweet. So it's totally not fermented out.
Oh, it's not.
Whereas semi-sweet will be a little bit sweeter. This just comes across as not dry. Do you generally like Pinot Noir?
Yeah.
That's a smooth red wine.
Yeah.
It's not heavily oaked.
Oh, that's like fruity.
The Wit's like a fruitier wheat beer.
Okay.
You get some orange peel in it. We use fresh oranges. So we squeeze the orange juice right into the kettle and
Really?
then put the orange peel in.
Okay. I love that.
This is the Abbeyversary. That's
Okay.
kind of a play on words for it. So we make it for our anniversary. It's Abbey style, but we're not allowed to call it a Belgian Abbey ale.
I like that. Now, what do I taste in this one?
You'll probably get some of the hop aroma.
Okay, yeah.
The finish, it's got very much a Belgian yeast character in the finish. A little bit of spice. This is our Cedar Rock Brown Ale. It's a very malty brown ale.
Okay, so
Still very
malt is what
crisp
I'll be
and drinkable, and a little more hop character than an English brown ale would have.
That's good.
And then this is going to be our heavier beer. This is just made with a little bit of a chocolate malt and a little bit of a malt from Belgium called Coffee Kiln, which gives it that coffee aroma.
Yeah. I like that. I was expecting it to be really heavy, but it's not that heavy.
And it's not overly bitter.
No.
Comes off very smooth.
Okay, so this is so unique.
Well, we got 3 different ice creams here. This is a mint chocolate chip cream soda. This is Jolly Orchard apple wine ice cream, and then we have our hazelnut porter ice cream.
And these actually have alcohol in them, so you have to be 21 to order these two, right?
Yep. Kids can order the soda ice cream, but adults have
Mint chocolate chip cream soda ice cream. That's good. Jolly Orchard apple wine.
It's like a green apple Riesling that we use.
This is nice and creamy.
You get like an apple flavor from it.
Yeah.
We've done that with caramel as well, more flavor. And that's usually the beer
really
is the most
flavorful.
popular by
Yeah,
far.
that's very good.
Anywhere you like.
Okay. All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Ray.
Thanks for coming.
And as you've seen, we have discovered Sherwood Breweries, and now you can come out and discover all these great local flavors for yourself. that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Veronica Vance. And remember, if you would like more information on any of the places we visited, log on to visitdetroit.com. So until I see you next time, go out and explore on your own and discover the D. To learn about discounts and special offers for featured attractions, plus how to get copies of Visit Detroit magazine, click on visitdetroit.com.
Production funding for this program was made possible by the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau, driving tourism growth in Metro Detroit since 1896. More information is available at visitdetroit.com.
Hang on, I gotta figure out how to turn it. Always something happening here. You never know what. Hang on. Oh, how's that? Is that better? Keep watching it. Thank you.
Does that happen often?
No, never.
What I want to do, even to get more.